We came so far from dreams. The path was hard for me. They thought we fall, you see. Well, look at us now, look at us now. We make it hot when we on the scene. Yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team. Yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around. You know that I roll with some kings. We shit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we. Tell me who better than we. We soaring to places you never could reach. When we walk in that spot, don't hear none of you speak. Shh, do you want peace or the peace? A king about to put you to sleep. Listen, my team is elite. You not even qualified to compete. He starving, he barely can eat. I guess that's why he always itching for beef. So I put him on ice and I told him to chill. Close your mouth if you can't pay for the meal. Making statements that you know you don't mean. Nice guy trying to act like he mean. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Attitudes will put you dudes in the beam. Isekai, he don't live in reality. Shake back off, become a fatality. Yeah, how you gon' hate when you mirror us? He think he a star, he ain't serious. X him out, we not on the same frequency. If you broke, you ain't hearing us. Work the screw, anime, that's how I feel, period. We winning, that's making them furious. We make it high when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We shit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we.
Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, and I'm back. Back with you on another new part of What If Izuku Was Vergil's Son? This is part 8, and yeah, sorry it's been a while since I last updated for this part of this series, to be honest. I will not lie, I didn't expect to basically put this series on hold for as long as I did. I was only going to be doing it for at least a good 3 months, but some other things took up my time. So yeah. And right, with all that said, let's go ahead and have a recap. In the last part, Izuku, alongside Mei, and also Ibara and Toga were all struggling to basically get paid because they're not getting as much clients as they did before. Given that, they don't trust them because they're kids after all. So, while struggling with that of getting clientele, they soon begin. Izuku, alongside Ibara and Mei, begin their first day at UA High, where Izuku had to deal with some bullshit, mainly with that of his homeroom teacher, Shota Aizawa, aka Eraserhead, trying to, basically get rid of Izuku for not giving it his all by showing off his demonic powers, and only showing off his demonic physical capabilities alone. But Izuku basically proving his point that he doesn't go all out when it comes to things like this, where he only goes all out when it comes to that of people's lives or when it's necessary. Other than that, this is just, to him, the whole quirk apprehension test was a waste, where Aizawa wanted to expel him, but in deciding not to, not wanting to make another foe and turning Izuku into a vigilante. And on the way back to the shop, they soon get a new client by the name of Ipan Josei, where she asks that of Izuku to kill her boss, who she believes is a demon. So with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Also, you all agreed that Ipan is going to be falling in love with Izuku in this part, just like the rest of the other girls too. So for that, thank you for voting. And for all those who voted no, I'm sorry but not sorry you didn't win. So with that little tangent out of the way, let's get finally into this. Ipan Josei, age 27. She's nothing special, just your average everyday heteromorph woman, to be honest. With a mutant quirk that basically not only, makes her taller, but also basically gives her that of a, shark/fox-like appearance. Thankfully, in today's society, somebody like her is basically the norm. So there are always things that cater to that of her size, thankfully. Unfortunately, discrimination when it comes to that of heteromorphs is still pretty on that of the rise, to be honest. It's not as shown as it used to be, and to be honest, villain groups like that of the Creature Rejection Clan that normally always attacks that of heteromorph, people, to be honest, are not as popular or as strong as they used to be. So the most vocal group on, hating on heteromorphs is basically not existent, but that doesn't mean that they don't exist or people don't experience them after all. Luckily, my workplace doesn't have any of that, but however, what it does have is basically my boss. I work in a tech firm out in that of Shibuya. It's not well known, but it is part of that of Detnera. I mainly work in that of accounting, mainly working on finances and improving them, and making sure that the company doesn't go over budget alongside my other coworkers. The only problem is my boss, the manager of that of the, finance department, is a real asshole. A guy that basically looks like your everyday average Japanese citizen. However, the only thing that stands out about him is that he has one hell of a comb over that almost covers that of his right eye. He doesn't look anything special, like just your usual average, person. However, what scares him is that his overwhelming pressure and aura. The guy is absolutely terrifying, even though he doesn't look threatening, he just feels wrong. It also doesn't help that even though we all do our jobs, it almost seems like he barely does his. And yet, he always gets his work done easily. So we just believe that as long as he doing his job and not causing any problems, it doesn't matter, right? Before she continues, she's soon cut off by that of Himiko saying, wait, hold up. So you're basically saying that your boss doesn't seem like a demon? He just seems like your typical asshole boss who barely does his work but yet always gets things done. So what's the problem? Within, Izuku saying, Himiko, don't stop her. Let her go on. But then, Himiko a little annoyed and puffs her cheeks before slinging back saying, sorry if I seem like I'm not really explaining things properly. Before then, taking a deep breath saying, the thing is, I've worked there for literally, 5 years. But over the past 5 years, there's always something that seems wrong. And she goes more into detail. Every time when a coworker arrives, at least after certain coworkers that basically work there for a large period of time, mainly 5 years, our manager always takes them away and basically telling them they have that of a promotion in the company and plans on moving away. But they always have to come back to that of the office at least on the day before they move to that their highest position. At first, none of us really thought much about it until one night I saw it. It was last month. One of my coworkers, a senpai of mine by the name of Yuriko, she was always smart, diligent, hardworking. I always thought that she would basically get a promotion sooner than later, but it was always hold off. But until that was last month, where not only did she get the promotion and she was promoted, but just like everybody else, we didn't think much about it until I had to stay over, actually. It was a pretty annoying account, and numbers, for some reason, for Detnera was basically spending way too much company and forcing our company with that of the money too. So it was annoying and a pretty stressful night. I was able to get it done, but before I left, I saw in that of my manager's office. In Yuriko, I thought it wouldn't be too bad if I just stared a little bit, see what kind of documents and what she'll be needing to prepare for the promotion. So I didn't think much about it. And afterwards, and I thought when she leave, I could congratulate her on her way home. However, it wasn't that. It was something wrong with then. That's when she saw it. She saw that of the demon form of her boss, as his entire jaw just unhinged, created multiple fangs with 2 large fangs on the bottom of his mouth and 2 large fangs on that of the top of his mouth, with multiple legs that look like spider legs, basically coming from his back as Yuriko was about to run. However, it was too late. She was stabbed through the chest by one of the legs before the demon bit her head off and eat the rest of her body. At that very moment, I knew that was wrong, even for a quirk user with a spider type quirks. Not to mention, that wasn't what he always said his quirk was. He always said that his quirk was basically an emitter type quirk that basically allows him to, well, have a clear sense of mind. It's that very reason on why he's always so strict and such an asshole, because he always thinks things clearly and tries not to let emotions control him. Unfortunately, that was far from the case. At first, I was thought that he lied about his quirk registry so he wouldn't get discriminated. I thought it was a mere transformation quirk that made him look like a heromorph. But over time, I began to realize multiple missing person cases and also other things supernatural happening around Japan too. It just felt more and more off every time when his aura was around me now, until I began hearing more and more rumors about monsters that pro heroes and normal people have encountered before I heard the term demon being spread. Then other things, realizing the missing persons within that of our company. I tried asking about that of everyone else from those of the company that went up to that of Detnera, and they always say that they don't have somebody like that. They never even said that they even got somebody like that to work for them once. And then it came to a realization. He's been eating my coworkers, devouring them. For all these years, he's been at the company for literally 30 years. He's never worked anywhere else outside of the company. Even when he's gotten multiple promotions, he always turns them down. He's been eating and killing multiple of my coworkers for so many years. Every 5 years. With Izuku stroking his chin, saying, "Now that makes a lot of sense." Before taking a serious look as he kicks his feet off of his desk and scoot up to it, saying, when it comes to the statute of limitations here in Japan, when it comes to missing person cases, occasionally they only last for like a good 6 to 7 months, to be fair. However, when it comes to that of certain people with unique types of quirks, they can last even longer from that to that of 3 to 4 years. So having to wait that of 5 years for each missing person case to come to an end so the police don't no longer, look into them, it's quite smart. For the past 30 years, this demon's been going under the radar. Hell, how the hell did I not even know about this, or even Nero or Nico when they were here? Within, Himiko saying, probably because it wasn't really important. And besides, it was missing persons. Within Izuku narrowing his eyes saying, missing persons are basically a prime example of certain demons getting involved. Look, unlike that of a lot of countries with human trafficking, Japan is one of the few countries, especially given who's our number one hero, All Might, that don't have we don't have that much of human trafficking like we used to. Unfortunately, we have the worst when it comes to that of drug trafficking, after all, when it comes to Trigger, given that we are a country that revolves so much around quirks. We literally have pro heroes who basically specializing in that of quirk drug trafficking, like that of Fat Gum, Silky, and even that of, Ryukyu occasionally. But when it comes to that of human trafficking, we are basically in that of the minority when it comes to having that crime here. Fourth wall break, if only this Izuku knew about a certain doctor he interacted with once when he was a kid. Fourth wall break over. But then saying, but even so, this is a demon that's been around for too damn long, and most likely, after all these years, he's no longer just a regular demon. He's possibly a devil now. A strong one at that. So that means I better get ready to basically take care of the bastard sooner than later and give it my all in my A game. But I don't want to cause any trouble in that of your office space, Miss Jose. So, if you like, you know how we can you have his address or anywhere he frequently visits. Within, she basically pulls out that of her bag. Within, bring out multiple documents saying, I had these for work documents. I asked that of HR if they could give me it so I can give him certain paperwork that he missed so he can finish them as an excuse to get his address. I'm not even sure if it's real or not. Within, soon looking at it saying, honestly, it seems kind of real. It's pretty close to that of your company building after all. Not too far, but not too short. But then realizing that makes way too much sense on how he's able to get into the office early than anybody else. But we need to make this clean. Honestly, does he have any connection to anybody in your building outside of it or even outside of it actually? Within hearing that, she's saying, no, not necessarily. He's not really close to anybody in the office or in the company in general. Plus, he also says that he lives alone. On his record, he says that family died early on when he was young and no siblings or family or any other distant relatives. So, makes sense given he's a demon. I mean, demons do have siblings too, but only on rare occasions. So, with that, he looks over, puts his paper on that of the desk saying, well then, Miss Jose, I'll take your case. So, how you want to do this? Cash up front or cash later? Within, she looking quite shocked saying, huh? With saying, oh, right, I forgot payment. Actually, if you like, I could give you the payment later if you wish. But then him basically huffing a little bit, but smiling, saying, sure, we can discuss payment after I'm done taking care of that scumbag of a demon. As he soon heads to that of a large wardrobe cabinet, with soon opening it up and pulling out that of his coat. Putting it on and then ready for business. Before leaving that at the door and soon heading outside. Where then he brings out his newest devil arm, being Arasuru, as getting on that of the dark green hoverboard. With then Sume saying, hey, Muscles, are you heading out already? Saying, pretty much, gonna need a stakeout after all. Can't waste time as it is, as this bastard demon gonna keep on eating. With then, hearing that, saying, wait, but what about... Before make it finish, he soon blitzes off, flying up into the air, before heading straight for that of Tokyo. With then saying, what about that of my baby I wanted you to have? With Ibarra coming to that of the shop, realizing, was that my lord? Where is he going? Within, Hatsune saying, he took on a job and planning on taking it out. Seems like he's going to be doing a stakeout today. Within, she's saying, wait, my lord is going on a stakeout? But without me? Hatsune, where is he going? Within, as Hatsune basically was about to say she didn't know, that's when Himiko saying, he's going to Shibuya. So within, looking upstairs, seeing that Himiko and also Ipan, as Ibarra is saying, I'm guessing that is our client on why he's heading out. Within, realizing she's quite beautiful for a heteromorph woman. Before thinking, wait, is he already doing this because she was seduced? Did this harlot seduce that of my lord? With then, as Ibarra basically having that wondering thoughts, within Himiko saying, if you want to know where Izuku is going, I'll give you the address. But honestly, I don't think this is something you need to worry about. Within, hearing that, Ibarra saying, well, I guess there are some uses to you that of, you blood-hungry harlot, saying, don't push it, Miss Holier Than Thou. With, as the two girls having that of death glares where you can literally see the electricity between the two. With Ipan thinking, is there tension between these two? With her feeling completely, utterly confused, as May basically in that of the workshop, basically huffing, looking at that of a certain looking gauntlet-like device right in front of her. 1 hour later, Izuku arrived into that of Shibuya, arriving into that of the very district and street on where he needed to go, on where he believes his target's going to be. As it's currently getting later in that of the evening, as the sun is beginning to set, within thinking, this is the time. Within realizing, it's been a month since he last ate somebody. So, is it possible that with Izuku basically thinking things over, looking at the situation, and the reason why Ipan decided to wait until now, thinking, wait, is it possible that he's going to eat somebody today? No. Maybe eating somebody tomorrow? No, Izuku, you're overthinking things. Just focus on staking out this area for the time being. I got time. Hopefully no pro hero basically decides to come up. Tries to, stop me, to be honest, or tries to tell me to get down. This is pretty much of a good vantage point, to be fair. As he gets a good opening of that of the, building while being on that of a small rooftop. But then he leans back, looking at his phone, deciding to catch up on a little bit of hero news at the same time, thinking there's some things he can write down about certain pro heroes and their quirks, and possibly incorporate that of their fighting style into his devil arms or his own, other, styles, after all. Another hour has gone by, with now looking like that of the company building is starting to, die down after all, with many people now leaving that of the company. But then, soon he gets a call saying, Ibarra? Saying, yo, Ibarra, what are you? My lord, where are you? I'm trying to find you in this area. But then saying, wait, you're in Shibuya? Saying, yes, my lord, where are you? Please. I've been wandering these streets for several hours now. Saying, why are you... I'm right. I'm in one of the buildings, far top right. Within, looking down, seeing, as he already noticed that of the vine-haired girl. Within, realizing, God damn this woman. Getting that of Arasu out again. Getting on that of his devil arm board and floating already down. With then, reaching that of a nearby alleyway where nobody can notice them. Before then saying, yo. Within, Ibarra basically freaks out, drops her phone. Before then, Izuku catches it using that of his Devil Bringer style. Before tossing it back to Ibarra, back into her lap. But then saying, my lord! Saying, yeah, sorry. But why the hell are you even here? Honestly, I didn't think you were going to show up at the shop today. Within, getting back on her feet, brushing off the dirt off her skirt, saying, perish the thought, my lord. As a servant and one who worships that of the great Sparta bloodline, my duty is to always be by your side, fighting by your side as well. Nothing will change my mind about that. Within, hearing this, Izuku couldn't help but scratch the back of his head before then saying, okay, guess that's gonna happen from time to time. And I should have figured that out sooner. Before then, looking up, saying, look, the target is most likely going to come back outside for at least another hour, until another hour or so. So I please implore you to stay quiet, stay out of this, and so we can focus properly. Understood? But then she's saying, yes, my lord. But then, as Izuku basically telling her, offering a hand to her, they're saying, what is it, my lord? Saying, get on so I can carry us up on top to the rooftop after all. But her realized how close she would be to that of her, lord, saying, well, my lord, I don't think it's that. Before then, not even bothering, grabbing her by her hand, putting her close to his chest. Before then, begin to put her in that of a bridal carry, with Ibarra completely and utterly shocked, with her face going pretty nuclear red, as he begins to basically fly back up. But then getting back on the rooftop, getting off his, devil arms, and then dropping that of Ibarra back on her feet, saying, now then, let's get back to business. Before then, Ibarra mentally thinking, my lord basically carried me. My lord held so close to me. With steam basically coming so close to her ears to the point that she also begins to pray as she begins having that of, debaucherous thoughts and begs for forgiveness for having these thoughts on her lord. With then, Izuku saying, God, this girl is weird. Getting his binoculars out again before looking back at that of the, finance department. With then realizing, okay, looks like he's about to get ready to leave. But then, however, he looks closely at that of the window saying, wait, is he throwing a tantrum? With then thinking, wait, is he on the phone? Who is he talking to? With then realizing, hopefully that it isn't somebody at Target. Thankfully enough, before then saying, look, all right, looks like he might be leaving. Let's get on. If you want to help me out, Ibarra, time to stick around and do your job. Saying, yes, my lord. Which means you're going to have to get close to me again, saying, are you sure, my lord? Saying, yes, I'm not going to just leave you down here. Sure, you could probably use your quirk, but I think that would draw way too much attention with so many freaking vines, basically, coming from one rooftop. Plus, we're going to have to figure something out to get rid of them, and I really don't want to basically cut these vines, and it may lead to that of destroying possibly part of the wall, part of the building's wall. So, saying, right, understood, my lord. As she basically shimmies over really closely, within realizing we don't have all day. Shirazaki within saying, right, as she winces a little bit in that of somewhat fear a little bit as well, due to her lord calling her by her last name instead of her first name like she's used to. With then soon arriving in that of the alleyway. Before then, remembering the address saying his house is basically, or rather apartment complex, is basically a few streets down. After that, we'll ambush him. With then saying, right, my lord. With that, they soon basically head straight for that of the designated location. Within a few minutes later, with that of the current target saying, damn that woman, she was supposed to arrive today, and I was hoping to basically devour her. No matter. When it comes to Japanese people, they're so easily to basically manipulate when it comes to that of promotions. Tell them they get one little promotion and they basically jump head over heels for the opportunity. What surprised me is that woman decided to not come into work and I explain about her newest position. No matter, unless she wants to lose her job, and I know how Japanese always fear the loss of their job. She won't miss out tomorrow. As then, boss couldn't help but lick his lips. Before then, soon, he feels a certain demonic pressure across that of where he lit on where he's using as that of a hideout. Within, he's saying, another demon? Do I know that this is my hunting grounds? I thought they would know not to mess with that of a devil. I better just give them a little scare unless I kill them and take their power for myself. As soon as he goes over the corner, that's when multiple vines basically go straight for him. As he saw this, that's when his arms, legs, and even his neck alongside his torso are all wrapped up into that of green-like vines. But then saying, what the hell? What is the meaning of this? With them saying, are you some kind of villain? If you don't, I'll call a hero. They'll saying, don't even try and play that card, you damn monster. With then, hearing that, soon he begins to feel the demonic pressure getting closer and closer. Before then, seeing that of Izuku and Ibarra, with Ibarra's vine hair already binding that of the demon to get already. Within, soon, Izuku couldn't help but smirk saying, yo, On person, you don't really look too menacing, but I won't lie, you were basically one ugly looking bastard, to be honest. And people always say that I used to look plain when I was younger. Within hearing that, Ibarra mentally saying, whoever called my lord plain, I will basically stab them next time for such disgrace to him. Within saying, you got a lot of nerve, kid. Don't you know on who I am? And seeing that you have a demonic pressure, you're basically a demon just like me. So why the hell are you? I'm not like you, little bastard. If anything, I'm here to take you out. I've been it's only courtesy for talk to you a little bit, get to know the kind of person you are before I basically kill you. But then saying, wait, are you a bounty hunter? Were you contracted to kill me? Damn those people I work with. To think that they would. Okay, dude, stop the act. The act was kind of cute a little bit. You thinking that we were just mere, humans or villains. But when you realize that I was a demon from the very moment, you kind of wasted your opportunity there to play dumb. Within hearing that, saying, guess the jig is up. Before soon, multiple, spider-like limbs begin to come out of his back before cutting that of Ibarra's vines. However, she doesn't stop there. She creates more and more vines to entrap that of the son of a bitch. However, he cuts them even more and more before Izuku finally steps in, using that of his lightning style, as he was about to go for that of a quick draw slash. Before then, he was soon stopped by one of the legs, seeing on how strong they are, seeing that they're able to cut through Ibarra's vines. They're definitely no joke. With then, he soon being sent back for a bit, as then sliding on his feet, before then as he prepares his sword again, but not as tense as he was before, saying, you really are a devil. To think that you were around, that you've been killing humans all this damn time for 30 years now. And you wait every 5 years before you can basically eat them. I gotta say, you're one patient-ass demon, I gotta say. Within saying, oh yes, I am. And now that I'm letting my demonic pressure come out, my senses are not as dull as they were before. And I can smell it on you. You have the blood of Sparta in your veins. I can smell it on you. Within saying, let me guess, you were connected to my father some way or somehow? Saying, how is it not? Do you not know on where you are at, for example? But then, soon, Izuku saying, Japan? Duh. Saying, you have his blood and yet you don't even know. Not too surprising. Sparta was a man of few words, after all. Almost half of every demon here who bear the title or bear the power of that of a devil were devils who basically fought with Sparta. With Izuku's eyes widening alongside Ibarra, within Izuku saying, that makes a lot of sense. Within looking as he thinks about each and every one of his devil arms and new styles, as many of them outside of that of his newest one were all connected to Sparta one way or another. His Korosu Tengu sword devil arm was connected to his grandfather, alongside that of Oracle as well. On my Oji style too, outside of the two styles I developed myself, and my newest devil arm, it almost seems like every demon I have contact with has some connection to that of my grandfather. Within, the demon saying, so I see, you are Sparta's descendant, one of his grandkids. To think I'm not surprised, he always did have a fondness for humans after all. With Ibarra preparing that of her, Order of the sword within, saying, then why if you fought with that of Lord Sparta, then why would you begin eating that of humans? You know that he was fighting for that of the protection of humans. Did you not sing? Yes, I fought for humans. It is true. I fought with that of the man I once called brother known as Sparta. But there's only one problem with that. The only reason I fought with him is so I can have my own personal feeding ground. Within, hearing that, both of them couldn't help but be shocked. However, Izuku narrowed his eyes. But then, the demon saying, "Allow me to fully introduce myself. My name is Yojari Gumo, and I was once an ally of Sparta. During the war, Mundus wanted to wipe out wanted to not only rule the human world, he wanted to wipe out every human in existence. For that, Sparta did it for a noble reason, alongside a few other like-minded and soft-spoken demons such as himself. But I saw this as that of a waste. Humans are many demons' fuel source. True, demons can gain blood from each other as well. But humans, now they're a lot more succulent, a lot more tasty, and a lot more nourishable. Demon blood may give us more power and strength, but it's disgusting, sickening, and honestly revolting from time to time eating your own kind's blood and to gain stronger. But with humans, it's slow, but gradually. And besides, the only reason why Mundus wanted to wipe out all humans is because he was afraid that somebody would take his power, since he used the Cliflot tree, the very tree that basically was in America a few years back after all, to gain his power. Within, Izuku hearing that saying, "The Cliflot again," saying, "I guess you know of it too. I guess even though you didn't know much about us, I guess you know about some demonology. I'm not stupid enough to basically try and plant my own Cliflot tree. Too messy, to be honest, and draws too much attention. If you basically focus on blending in with humans, coexisting with them, just as Sparta did, alongside a few other of my brethren, my brethren who fought for your kind, you can get away with a lot of things, to be honest. You can just blame it off on that of villain attacks after all. Missing persons reports? Easy enough. Back then, before the time of quirks, it was hard to basically hide away your existence and try to blend in when you look like you. But with quirks, any demon that has actual intelligence can brush it off on that of villain attack, hide in the shadows, after all. Unlike that of certain demons and even villains that basically attack in the public, in the opening where heroes and even demon hunters such as yourself can basically take them down. Intelligent ones such as myself use the shadows. They use that of human nature to our advantage to gain feed more. Let's be honest. When it comes to you humans, all you are is nothing but a fuel source for us. Take away our fuel source, we'll basically go extinct. Mundus knew this, but he didn't care. He cared about keeping his position as the ruler of the underworld and demonkind as a whole. So I decided to side with that of the one person that could take him down. The one person I saw as a comrade, Sparta. And in return, he allows me to do as I please as long as I don't go on a mass killing spree. Eat as many and devour as many humans as I like. Luckily, I have a lot of self-control, unlike a certain few. So, do you really call me the bad guy, or within, soon, a demonic slash coming straight for him as he blocks the attack? However, it forces him back and skidding on his feet, and even makes a mark through that of his, spider leg, saying, you talk too much. To be honest, you're not entirely wrong about us humans. We're pretty easy to manipulate and and people are pretty easy to take up just anything that they want, just wanting to believe it. And seeing how long you've lived here in Japan, you've known on how easy it is to manipulate Japanese people, especially those in the working class. Within, Ibarra hearing all this from that of her master and lord saying, Lord Izuku, what are you? Before then, preparing his blade saying, and I also get on why you demons need to eat humans to survive, to grow stronger, to live. However, you forget the one thing why my grandfather, Sparta, fought for humanity, not for basically glory or power to take over moon or take over that of all demonkind, but he fought so humanity could live. Within saying, exactly why I fought. Humans and demons need one another for symbiotic existence, saying, except one thing. Within, sending more and more demonic slashes towards that of Yojiro Gumbo. Within, as he soon uses his, spider legs to deflect each one. However, Izuku gets really close to him. Before then, saying to that of the spider-like devil, saying, humans have the right to live too and not live as that of food. Before, as he sends a slash down that of the guy's chest. As then, he basically squealing out of pain before being sent back. As he soon covers that of his, newly added wound. Within, Izuku basically twirling his demonic swords, Kiba and Karu, as then pointing Kiba at him, saying, that's because, and we prefer to live as we want. My Gramps knew that. He was able to coexist, and even some of the other demons here. You decided to basically saw a limitless fuel source, and for that, I can't have that. Within hearing this, saying, fine then. Let's have a little bit of fun. Before, as then, purplish demonic energy begins to coat around him. With then, soon, his entire appearance begins to change and alter from that of his human appearance. More and more like that of a giant demonic spider. As just like what Ipan said, his jaw basically unhinges and grows longer, with rows of teeth and fangs, with that of spike horns coming out of his head, more legs coming out of his back, a giant web sack coming from that of his on his back as well, and multiple claws coming from his hands and feet, within showing him in his true form. However, not stopping there, he soon materializes that of multiple blades, as they basically look like that of twin blades, but with that of a web pattern across that of the blade's edges. With then saying, so, ready to do this, Ibarra? Saying, of course, my lord. Preparing her sword and her quirk, saying, then let's rock. Still in his lightning style, he blitzes towards Yojiro Gumbo. Before then, switching to that of his Korasu Tengu Devil Arm, bringing out the winged chain sword, and soon sending it flying towards that of the Spider Devil, with him basically blocking the whip slashes. As Izuku not stopping there, he continues to basically send that of slashes, a flurry of slashes so fast that you can barely even dodge them. However, Yojiro Gumbo is not even dodging them, but parrying each and every one without even breaking a sweat. With Izuku seeing this, realizing that he's a tough bastard, before then, he dodges that of one of the spider legs while sliding below. Before then, using one hand, flipping over up into the air. Before then, channeling his demonic energy through that of his, winged sword, and then bringing it down hard. But soon, Yojiro Gumbo basically dodges out of the way from the slash, using his massive spider limbs to dodge, with seeing that of a massive slash crater into the bottom. With then, seeing this, deciding to switch from that of his, lightning style, sorcerer style, with as seeing that of the magic talismans floating around him, before creating that of multiple spell circles, one being lightning, one being ice, and one being fire. Before then, code as soon using that of his devil arm, slashing right through those spell circles, as they soon all coat in that of lightning, fire, and ice. As each wing, section has that of the elemental affinity. Before then, swinging it around and soon sending that a flourish of magical slashes towards the spider devil, with Yujiro Gumbo dodging each strike and even blocking a few with that of his blades. As soon as he was about to dodge one of the flaming wing blades, a few of his spider legs were basically caught up in that of Ibarra's vines. With seeing that, he couldn't help but growl as she trying her best to stay in place, with using even that of her Order of the Sword to keep her locked in place. With that, he soon using that of one of his swords to block the attack, but barely using any of his demonic power and pressure to keep that of the blade from parrying or slicing through, with only just enough to basically move out of the way, but only make that of a slight wound on him, as he couldn't help but grit his mouth in pain. Before then, soon saying, "Screw this, I guess I better go all out then." Before then, sending that of multiple webs everywhere. Before then, using that of his blade to cut off Ibarra's vines from his legs and break loose. With seeing that of all the webs everywhere, realizing it's going to be tough to move away, as he thinks about basically cutting right through them. As soon as he tries, he realizes they're a lot more stronger than he gives himself credit for. With then thinking, damn, these webs ain't no joke. With then soon seeing Yujiro Gumbo basically sending more and more webs towards that of Izuku. With Izuku switching back to his lightning style as he dodges each and every one of the web shots, even jumping up into the air. Before then switching to that of his other devil arm, Arasu, as bringing out that of the hoverboard devil arm, with a demonic green-like energy coating around that of the hoverboard. He soon basically cuts through that of the webs, with even surprising that of Yujiro Gumbo. Within, still spinning around, he soon gets off that of the devil arm hoverboard before switching to that of his devil bringer style, creating that of the green demonic arms around him before grabbing that of the board. And then he begins to channel that of the demonic blast from the tip of the board as it begins to spin and soon launches the powerful blast. Yujiro seeing this as he uses what's left of his arms and even begins to coat them around with that of his spider web, creating that of a powerful shield that guards that of his main body, as he begins grunting and out of pain, but still standing his ground with each and every one of the blast attacks. Within, Izuku, feeling like the attack is about to fade but not stopping there, as he soon basically throws that of his hoverboard devil arm in that of its blade form, and throws it right straight for that of Yujiro Gumbo. Then he feels the stabbing pain from that of the energy-like blade going right through that of his gut for a bit. However, surprisingly, it missed that of vital organs. Him couldn't help but grit his teeth in pain. Fading away from that devil arm as it fades away, creating a massive gush of blood. With soon Izuku switching back to that of his lightning style and even bringing out that of his twin demonic katanas as he blitzes for that of Yujiro Gumbo, ready to finish it right here and now. Before then saying, "Screw this." Before noticing that of Ibarra, as he couldn't help but have that of a gleam of trickery in his eyes. Before then sending that of one of his one good spider limbs straight for her. Within, Izuku saw this as he noticed where it's going. Instead of basically going for the kill, Izuku decided to go and save Ibara as he soon steps right in front of her. Before she had time to react, he was soon skewered right through the gut by that of the spider limb, causing him to basically gasp in that of pain before throwing up a little bit of blood, with Ibara saying the same, "Lord Izuku!" But then removing that of his spider limb, saying, "I knew you would do that. Got that hero mentality in you, kid. I won't lie. You're probably going to be a pro hero if you are a descendant of Sparta." But then Izuku going to his knees for a bit, covering that of his gut. Before then, Izuku couldn't help but say, "You bastard," saying, I was one of the few only demons that served out of Sparta who wasn't afraid to use that of dirty tactics. I was the weakest of the demons that served out of Sparta during the war, after all. So I had to use at least a little bit of trickery to get ahead of when combating stronger foes. Using hostages, basically killing certain allies, manipulating that of information gathered by enemies, after all. That was more my style. And as much as I want to continue fighting you, brat, I'm not here to die just yet. So, catch you around. Also, seeing that you knew that I was a demon, there's only one person that knew that I was. The person who I planned on basically devouring today that didn't show up. Josei told you, didn't she? Within, Izuku's eyes widening in shock before looking up saying, "I knew it. Your look says it all. That bitch basically knew about you and decided that you could kill me. Well, let's make this clear. I won't be going back to that business, and Josei will live. But for now, for the meantime, I need to recover my wounds. Catch you later, little Sparta." Before then, he soon basically jumps up into the air. Before then, he covers himself in that of spider silken webs. Before then, he completely disappears, being his weird form of teleportation magic. Then, Izuku, gasping in pain for a bit, within Ibar saying, "Master Izuku, we need to get you to the hospital," saying, "No, I'm fine, just a different form of pain, that's all." Saying, "Huh?" As then, standing up and removing that of his arm, showing that his wound has fully healed now. Saying, your face? You," but then saying, "Demonic healing always comes in necessary. Never took anything that serious before, to be honest, outside of a few attacks back then when I was a kid, when I awakened my demonic power. Healing wounds, even fatal wounds, are basically non-existent for me. But I will tell you, it hurts like hell." As then, he soon heads out, as he then saying, "Come on, we gotta get back," saying, "But what about the devil?" saying, "We'll take care of it sooner than later. For the meantime, it looks like he's going to use this time to try and recover. Hopefully by that time, he doesn't go back on a feeding spree. But hopefully next time, I'm strong enough to take him down." With that, Izuku having a look of determination, as right now, he has one ally of his grandfather to put down sooner than later. And the worst part is, this is going to be the very first job he actually failed to complete on the very first day. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. So, what did you guys think? I know you guys are thinking, why did I have Izuku fail? I mean, come on, he's not supposed to fail. Well, that's the thing. Again, Izuku is still new to some of this shit after all. And to be honest, many of the demons that were basically devil level threats, like that of Oracle and that of Lord Kappa, were in situations where when he fought against Oracle, he used the terrain being that of the, garbage dump beach to basically get the advantage. And when it came to that of, the Lord Kappa, He wanted a fair one-on-one fight with no one else getting involved. So he was lucky to basically win those fights. Fighting against a foe that basically is willing to play dirty, and it also has some strategy, and having to defend that of Ibarra, yeah, Izuku was never going to complete this job so easily. Now, if he unlocked Devil Trigger, definitely, but who can say? Any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to get my videos uploaded to the channel. Also, please go to my Discord, my gaming channel, my other channel, my side channel, my Patreon, and my Cash App. Also, if you guys have that of a what if request for me, please go to that of a super comment and basically donate $5 or more for me to basically do that of what if one shot of your choosing. Anyway, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie signing out. Later, guys, and hope you all take care. Shiro Kitsune, you know what to do, my beloved.
Hi everyone, this is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell and check out his playlists. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!